Alrighty guys, Lotus Woodus here, back with another video. First of all, even though you already know why I haven't been posting for a few days, I've been really tired. I've been really exhausted, like really exhausted since normally I usually sleep. I usually sleep even though I have many problems, but we don't talk about those problems, do we now? Because we all know Lotus is fine, alright? So even though you know why I couldn't do my what is because I didn't get enough sleep, I'd still like to apologize because, well, I kept y'all waiting like 2 or 3 days for a whole new what if, and I'm sorry about that. And the what if I released for the past few days have been really short, so I'm gonna try my best to make this one an hour. And this one is actually one I talked about like a long time ago. Nah, but like from 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers, because it was before 3,000 subs. So yeah. Is there any special occasions? I guess like my comeback. So I guess it's gonna be like my comeback special. I don't know. So this is actually what if Deku was the god of blades or the Blade Master. So yeah. Obviously Deku, he's the reincarnation of a god. He's not the actual god, but the reincarnation of the god. Why would I make him the reincarnation of the god instead of the god himself? I just felt like it. So, alright, this is Deku normally. Deku when he's about to ravage the living shit out of a living human being, or anything else. And his girlfriend, the god of long distance fighting, or the spear. Goddess, not god, sorry. So, we start off. So, I want you guys to remember when I first thought about this idea, I want you to remember anything that involves a blade is related to him. So basically, the fire blade, like a fire sword, he can use it. Fire slash, he can use it. So space and time slashes, he can use it. So basically, if you watch Black Clover, you know them scratches that Longest did and made it in space, like how he fluctuated space through space. Yeah, he could do those since they count as blade marks. So yeah. So yeah, I made Deku stupidly OP. Now, with that comes a minor usage of those elements. But the one he's gonna practice more in is space and time. Space because he'd like the ability to teleport. Time if there's a time where somebody's about to die that he actually finds important to him, he could just let it happen. He could just, well, save him. So, we're gonna start off with the god's backstory. It's not that long of a backstory, it's a really short one. So, yeah. So, the demon's name is Izuku, but the demons call him Deku. Why do the demons call him Deku? Well, for one, the demons call him Deku not because they find him inferior, but his abilities, his limits. See, there's two meanings to Deku. Deku means, well, you can do anything, and useless. Now, the context they're putting it in is you can do anything, because of his limitations. Izuku's limitations have been endless. No matter how much time that he lost to any of the other demons, he's always shown a pride in his abilities, and he's gotten stronger and stronger for every fight. And the demons started to notice this, even the demon lord or Satan himself, and he got really irritated with Izuku to the point where he kicked Izuku out of hell. Why? Because he knew that if Izuku continued to fight, he would have eventually came to him for a fight and beat him, and he did not want to let that happen. Izuku was still confused about why that happened. Take in mind, Izuku, he's just 7 at that time. He does not know anything. He's just a little demon, doesn't know anything. Now, Izuku is a demon on the plane of Earth, of the plane of humans. Now, he doesn't even know what's going on. He's just walking around and people are yelling and stuff like that and shit like that. They're throwing rocks at him. Sure, they don't bother him, but he feels like this pain in his heart. Sure, Izuku never met his parents or anything. It's not like he was an orphan. It's just that, let's just say, once a demon has their kids, the growth of their kids and the way they're nurtured does not depend on them. It depends on the kids' growth rate and their knowledge. So they just get up and leave. That's what the demon parents do. They just get up and leave after the child is born. So Izuku's parents, they do that. And Izuku, he's just walking around, not knowing the kindness of a parent or anything like that. He's just leaving. Now, whilst he's going, he just sees this person carrying swords. And that person happens to see Izuku. And he says, "Kid, where are you going?" As Izuku turns around and he says, "Who are you?" As the guy sees that Izuku, he has a sword. Now take in mind, Izuku, he's not the god of blade yet. Alright, he's not the god of blades. Take in mind, there was never a god of blades in, the gods realm anyways. So Izuku was the first ever god of blades. And he will be the only god of blades. Alright, let me tell you something. When the gods die, they don't get replaced. More like they reincarnate until they get their former abilities back. So, whether they die, get killed, die of old age, or something like that, which we know that's not going to happen, dying of old age, or if they get killed on Ragnarok, they just reincarnate. So, yeah. So, Izuku, he says, never mind, as he just walks away. He's walking away until the old man, he's not old, but he's fairly young, alright? He's fairly young. Let's just say, he has 3 more years to live, so he's gonna die when Izuku is 10. And Izuku's gonna get quite traumatized by it. As the ratherly old man grabs a sword, because he has a disease that only allows him 3 years left to live, because in this world there is magic and stuff like that. So Izuku, he's just walking until he feels like this omen of about to get slashed, and he turns around and catches the blade. As Izuku, he says, "What are you doing?" As the old man, he laughs. "God damn it, kid. You're a prodigy." As Izuku says, "What do you mean I'm a prodigy?" As the old man says, "Kid, if you're able to catch a sword like that, you're able to wield one. Come with me." As Izuku says, "But I'm a demon." As the old man looks at Izuku and smiles and says, "I don't care. You look pretty human in my eyes. What's so special about being human or demon? The only thing that's special about you is you have advanced reflexes, agility, strength, and stuff like that, and less weaknesses that humans do. That doesn't make you any less of a human. You're just slightly enhanced." As Izuku hearing those words, he feels this tug at his heart, this burning ache to follow the man. Not because he finds the learning experience to be nice, because he feels like he'll recover something that he never had in his life. Loving parents. So, because most demons, even though they don't have parents, they have like motherly and fatherly figures, even though they're not biological parents. Except for Izuku, he never had parents, because everybody thought that he'd be perfectly fine on his own. So they left him to be on his own. And that's really caused Izuku to stray far from, being Izuku. So, yeah. So Izuku, he follows the old man back, and for 3 years, Izuku's been practicing the sword. No special training, he's just been practicing the sword the same way. Just slashing, and slashing. Just doing slashes day and night. Izuku doesn't sleep, he just slashes. So every hour, every second, every minute, you just see him slashing. Izuku doesn't get a break, and when he eats his food in his mouth while slashing. So, you know how you eat your food and you don't have to hold it? Yeah, that's what Izuku does. So, he does that for the 3 years. But over this time, even though he's been slashing and slashing, he's still grown to have a fond relationship, no, a great relationship with the old man. To the point where, unannounced to him, one day in his life, he did not know the word or anything. It just popped up in his head. And the old man said, Izuku, and Izuku unconsciously said, yes, father? As the old man, he starts crying. As Izuku says, why are you crying? As the old man says, it's been 2 years since you came. This is the first time you've ever called me father. As Izuku says, huh? As he notices it, he says, I'm sorry. As he says, no, it's fine. So their relationship grows closer and closer. Now it's when Izuku's 10, and the old man's lying on his deathbed. And this was the first time in those 3 years that Izuku actually put down the sword and ran to the old man's room. He ran to the old man's room and said, Dad, what's wrong? She sees the old man laying there, just tired as... Hold on. Where was I? So yeah, the old man, he said, Izuku, it's my time to go. As Izuku doesn't have a last name. The old man said that he had a son and a daughter. Like, take in mind, this is way back before. Like, this is way before the whole My Hero Academia storyline and stuff like that. So his last name is Midoriya. As Izuku, he says, Dad, as the old man adopted him, but his other siblings don't know. The old man, he has 10 kids, alright? Not with different women, just 10 kids, alright? Because he wanted his kids to explore every reach that they can, so he had 10. 5 girls, 5 sons. Izuku is the 6th son, but he's adopted. So, yeah. So the old man said, I want you to meet your siblings and become the best swordsman in the world that you can. Don't disappoint me, Izuku, as he coughs. As Izuku said no, just crying above him, as the old man says, well, I guess it's time. Goodbye, Izuku. As he proceeds to say, I just rest my eyes. As he just closes his eyes and smiles. And that right then and there, he passes away. As Izuku, he cries. Izuku, he mourns for a whole 3 weeks. No, 3 months. Yes, 3 months by the old man's bedside. He starves himself for 3 months. He doesn't pick up the sword for 3 months. He just sits there with tears running down his cheek. Well, dried out tears running down his cheek. And him just sitting by the bedside, just thinking. And after the 3 months, he finally remembers what the old man says: become the best swordsman, the best blade user that ever existed. And Izuku, he found a new goal: to become the best swordsman. But before that, he remembers his dad saying, go meet your siblings. As he knows about where they live, since, well, the dad gave him, well, a map. Since they always contact the dad. So, Izuku, he says, alright. First, he goes to his sisters. His sisters happen to be traveling the same together. His sisters, they want to work in the beauty supply field, basically. So they make perfumes and stuff like that. So they work together. So Izuku walks in and can I talk to so and so Midoriya and stuff like that? As they said yes right away, we'll call them. As they come and said, somebody wanted to call us. Again, I'm guessing it's you. Izuku said yeah. As they said, might we ask who you are? As Izuku says, my name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm your adoptive younger brother. As he says, I have bad news to tell you about Dad. As they said, what happened to Dad? As they said, dad, he passed away 3 months ago. As they all fall to the ground and start crying. As they said, Dad passed? No. As they're each hugging each other, but then they remember Izuku was the one that spent time with Dad. So he must feel the most guilt since he wasn't able to do anything. As they go to Izuku and hug him and said, it's not your fault. It must have been hard for you since you were younger than all of us. As Izuku says, yeah. But he gave me a goal, and I'll fulfill it. As the girl said, a goal? What's that? As Izuku says, I'll become the best blade user. The god of swords, the god of blades. The best in any blade, whether it be a spear, a knife, a dagger, anything, I'll be able to use it. As the girl said, alright then. Well then, you'll be training with us then. As Izuku says, huh? They said, well, I work with the needles, and I work with the fan with the blades, and I work with, what's that thing called? You know, the thing with the, blades. Like, the thing that, Jade has for Mortal Kombat, the thing with, like, the three, sides. The three-blade thing? Yeah, the three-headed blade thing. Yeah, so she uses that. As he says, alright then, as he trains with them for 3 years. As he trained with them for 3 years. Alright, he trains with them for 3 years and stuff like that. And each year it's a different person. So he learned how to use the needles, the bladed fan, and that other one. So Izuku, he's fully mastered it. He fully mastered it and stuff like that. So he became a master at it. So, yeah. So, Izuku, he mastered it. He even beat them. So, we skip to when Izuku has to meet the brothers. I know it's 5 sisters, but still. 2 of them are, well, they're not on the hostile side. But they did learn a little bit of swordsmanship, which Izuku beat them in. So, yeah. Now, we skip to when Izuku has to meet the brothers. Izuku, he travels for 5 years to find the brothers. You know that, right? 5 years. So he's now 18 when he finally meets the brothers. And the brothers are in their 20s right now. 20s to 30s. 20s going into their 30s. As Izuku knocks on the door, which the brothers found seclusion with each other in this sec. It's a sword blade sec. As he goes to the sword blade sec and he joins. He passes with flying colors. Now, they asked him what was his ulterior motive with meeting, well, his seniors. As Izuku said, well, they're my brothers. As he said, oh, alright then. As he got to meet them. As they opened the door, as they said, huh, who are you? Are you a new senior? Are you in this dormitory? As Izuku says, no, my name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm your adoptive little brother. As they said, oh, did the old man send you to get us back home? He says, no, it's actually about him. He passed away a few years ago. As they said, what how long? As he said, 8 years ago to be exact. 8 years and 3 months ago. As they all fall to their knees and start crying. As they said, damn it, we couldn't even find anything about it. We didn't even get any notifications, no messages, no nothing. God damn it, we're terrible sons. As Izuku says, it's fine. Now that I've met all of you, I guess my first goal has been was a success. As the brother said, first goal, he says, well, before Dad died, he said to meet you guys. Which means your sisters and you guys as well. And they said, and your second goal? Izuku says, my second goal is to become the strongest blade master. the strongest blade wielder. As they said, oh, interesting. So they said, well, then you came to the right sec. But I highly doubt you'll be learning here for too long. As Izuku says, yeah, I'll probably be spending 1 or 2 years here. They said, alright then, might as well make this training quick. As brothers, one takes out a spear, one takes out a dagger, one takes out a longsword, one takes out, a bow. Why a bow? Well, it still has a blade on it, so, yeah. And the other brother, what did he take out? What did he take out? I wonder. I really can't think of anything. You know, for a person that knows how to use every weapon to its fullest ability to kill a person, I can't remember any of them. Damn. No, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, damn. I just remembered a blade off the top of my head. A blade reaper. It's from Shadow Fight. If you don't know what it is, it's actually the blade that has like the string attached to it to make it like spin. The one that you use to fight that shredder type nigga. I think his name was Lynx. Yeah. And apart from that dagger, the blade to fight Lynx. So yeah. So Deku, he trains with them, and over this time, when they had their training, he noticed that they were doing this strange thing while sitting on the ground. And he noticed this aura, as if it was like a sword just attacking him. As Izuku, he says, what is this? As, you know, they said that it's, well, sword QI, or stuff like that. As Deku says, sword QI, what if I turn it into blade QI? As Deku, he tries doing it, and he doesn't master it the first time, but the third, yeah. Third time's the charm. So Deku, he masters it, and he gets a cloning type skill from his sec. Now, the amount of clones he can make depends on how big his ki reserves are. And Izuku, he exhausts his ki a lot. When I mean a lot, I mean a lot. And he purposely does this to expand his QI pool. You know, I feel like I lied to you. I know I said that this backstory wouldn't be long, but it's quite long. I'm sorry. So yeah. So that happens, and yeah. So Izuku, he does that, and he exhausted to the point where he can at least make 10 clones, where, well, not 10 clones, but 8 more clones. Yeah. So he masters those blades again. He masters those blades as, like, he makes 9 clones, and they're all surrounding just one clone, just not one clone, but the actual body in the middle. The actual body in the middle is Izuku. And what he's cultivating, while all of them are cultivating separate blade arts, like the needle blade arts, the spiked fan, the one that Jade has, the spear, the bow, the dagger, the long sword, and the blood reaper and stuff like that. Izuku, hold on. Alrighty then, we'll be staying on this for now. So Deku, he practices those things with his ki, he's in the middle, alright? So he does that. And in the middle, he's practicing Blade QI, combining all of the blades, which is kind of hard for him, which is exhausting his ki reserves real fast. So Izuku, he decides to turn, well, the ki that's being leaked out from his body into, there's a little bit of ki being leaked out from his body every time that he, uses ki. So Izuku, he doesn't, care about it. So he just does that. And Izuku, whilst doing that, he says, alright then, doesn't matter. So Izuku, while he does that, he just puts it inside of his body and, use it to actually, refill his, ki reserves while taking some ki from the natural world itself. Now, after doing this, his brothers see a lot of progress in him, to the point where when they're fighting him with their separate weapons alone, Izuku can overpower them without using, Blade QI, but those separate weapon QI. Like Needle QI can beat, the Blade QI and stuff like that. And Izuku, he surpassed his brothers and sisters. And they're thinking, wow, he's so advanced. As now, Izuku, since he's cultivated, his vital energy, his lifespan, has greatly upgraded. Now, we skip to 15 million years, alright? 15 million years. Which Izuku, he's been mastering every blade you see here. Every sword, every blade, everything. Alright? Every blade. Quite honestly, I want to know more about these blades. But if you missed it, let me start from the top again. Let me start from the top. This is gonna take a while. Alright then, hold on. So yeah. So Izuku, he does that and mastered every one of those swords. And take in mind, there is 187 of those swords. Yes, 187. It took him 15 million years, alright? No. What? 187 billion years, alright? To master their swords to the peak of their limitations. Not to godlyhood. He hasn't made them ascend yet. He has not made his skills ascend yet. He did not do that. He did not do that. He did not make his skills ascend. He did not make his sword skills ascend yet. So he's been using the clone, he leaves clones. He leaves clones everywhere. Alright? He leaves them in mystical places with a lot of ki. So technically, there's currently 187 of them in the world just sitting there. Just sitting there, cultivating their own separate QI. And people seem to be seeing the same thing, the same one, but they don't know if it's the same person. Is he faster or anything like that? But then they started noticing something. They all look at his aura, and the auras are different. As if they're all different colors, they're rainbow colored. Now, that happens, and Izuku, He thinks, alright then, my training is done with that. Now, let me train and see if I can double the progress with making even more clones. So he's exhausted. Over time, he has exhausted himself. Now, this is a big ass world with many different realms and stuff like that. So Izuku, he now has, like, oh my god, hold on. So yeah, if you want like the whole size of that whole like planet that they're on, that planet is kind of like 100 times the size of Jupiter. All right, that means 2 times the size of the sun. Because I think the sun can fit 56 Jupiters, right? 56. Yeah, 56 Jupiters. Now, the God's domain is exactly one. No, it's 10 times. It's 100 times the size of the sun, basically. So Zuko, he has approximately. Oh my god. So yeah, so Izuku, like all over the world, he has clones. Like approximately to the point where Izuku, he's exhausted his mana for more. Like he spent like currently like we skipped to another 15 million years. So it's been 30 million years. 30 million years. He's 30 million and 18 years. He's 30 million and 20 years old. And Izuku, he does this. Izuku, he is 30 million and 20 years old. Now, take in mind, Izuku, he spent 15 years just cultivating and exhausting his mana reserves. And every time he's about to break through to ascend, he creates a new clone in the world. So currently, Deku, he now has about 187 billion clones in the world. So his QI is getting stronger and stronger. And we're gonna skip to 100 million years, where technically the whole world is kind of filled with Izukus. And some of them have vines on them due to how long they've been cultivating and stuff like that. And Izuku himself has a lot of vines on him, to the point where people think that he's a historical figure, like stone or something like that. Until one day, while they created a town with him in the middle of it, Izuku, his eyes open, and everybody's shocked, and they think that, oh god, it's a demon. As Deku, he gets up, and he says, alright then, how long has it been exactly since I've actually went on my journey? As they're all saying, oh wow, damn, oh my god, oh, I'm so scared. So yeah, they're kind of scared. Wait, hold on. So yeah, so Deku does that, and everybody's thinking, oh my god, it's a miracle or stuff like that. They still think that he's a historical figure and stuff like that. Now, take in mind, Izuku's siblings have died a long time ago. Like exactly 1,000 years after Deku, well, left. Like 1,000 years after Deku left. So when Izuku turned 1,020, they died. And they actually got to meet each other again. And Izuku he found out about it and stuff like that. Now, his QIs are so strong that he could possibly destroy that whole planet itself. Because take in mind, Izuku, he did that for 30 million years. Izuku is 60 million and 20 years old. He cultivated and made clones for 45 million years. He has exactly 187 quadrillion. Yes, quadrillion. Quadrillion of those guys, of his clones in this world. Now, his ability to legitimately adapt to anything is faster. Now, Izuku, he decides, I want to further my training. As Izuku, he goes around, like, take in mind, this is the time of magic. Yes, this is the time where the world has evolved to using magic. They don't know about ki or anything like that since, well, it was a long time ago. As Izuku sees people using magic, and he says, what's that? As they said, magic and some shit like that. And basically, Izuku says, can I learn it? As they said, yeah. Now, Izuku, he says, who should I learn it from? Can you tell me how mana works? As they said, well, it depends on hierarchy. If I'm sure nobles have the highest amount of mana. As Izuku says, oh, really? Alright then. As he proceeds to be on his way, as they said, where am I going? As Deku says, well, I want to explore the world. Which, he's lying. He goes to the palace, and the guards see him and said, you, stop there. As they go to attack him with their swords, but Deku, their swords don't even hit him. They bounce off of his aura alone. Or to be exact, his swords, they refuse to attack him. Immediately, when their swords reach Izuku, their swords get heavy. And the wielder and the sword are linked as the user says, sword, get up, what are you doing? As the sword says, I refuse to attack master. As they said, what do you mean, master? He says, he wouldn't understand. Either way, I refuse to attack master. As basically, that's what happens until he gets to the throne, where he sees basically like the king, the queen, the princess, the prince, just sitting there. As they think that they're about to get attacked, as Izuku says, I'd like to ask you a question. As the king says, what is it? Is this something about money? As Izuku says, I do not need money, and I do not plan to stay in this kingdom for long. I just ask for one thing. As the king says, oh, what's that? Izuku says, I want to learn magic. As the king says, but why me? You could have learned it from anyone. As he said, well, it is said that nobles have the highest amount of mana. And you happen to be the king, which means you're the highest ranking noble. As the king says, fair point. Alright then, I will teach you magic. As basically, he learns magic from the family, and he notices something. The magic you use varies on your imagination. As Izuku, he one day pulls out his sword, and he slashes. Now, he slashes, and they're wondering what's going on, and like, take in mind they're in the training room right now. As Izuku said, look. As they look, and they see a tiny slash on one of the dummies. As they're like, is that space? As Izuku says, yeah. As Izuku, he does that. As Izuku, what he does now, Izuku, in his places, he creates, well, a lot more clones in those places. Exactly another pair of 187 quintillion of those. As basically, they train. As they train there, and basically, they train like their magic and stuff like that. They train the elements, and then he makes another 187 quadrillion to hit the dummies with the elements and the QI. And there's another 187 quadrillion that is working on just the magic, and another pair, and another one of them, another stack of them, another 187, you know what, just doing it with just plain old magic, and there's another 187 just using plain magic attacks, and there's another 187 just using, well, ki to strike the rocks and stuff like that. And it's not really rocks that are easy to destroy, like it's an indestructible type rock. So he's just training it to the point where, like, his speed is beyond any limit. He doesn't have any limits. Now, even though Izuku's gonna die and reincarnate, his clones are still gonna be there. his clones are still gonna be there. So he's gonna get back to his normal state rather quickly. Well, not rather quickly, since his ability, his ability to get the weapons. That's the problem. Or to be exact, they're still in his storage space. So yeah. So Izuku, all the weapons he uses, he doesn't buy them from anyone. He customly makes them. But the one he's mostly fluid in is the sword, because that was the first blade that his father taught him. Now, Izuku, he does that. Now, one day, like, take in mind, it's been 20 years. And take in mind, the old king has resided from being king. Well, he hasn't resided, but he's basically like taking rest before the new king is crowned. Now, Izuku, he's been cultivating for those 20 years. Well, elements, that is. To the point where he created a magic that revolves around reality, fiction, actuality, and creation, and the imagination. It mostly focuses on the imagination. Anything he can imagine will happen in real life. And as he imagines that every clone out there has a tiny world inside of them that is 1,000,000 times the size of the planet that they're on, and it does not have 187 quadrillion. It has infinites of clones with the same ability. So, and he says, and their multipliers are infinity. So Izuku, his abilities are infinite now. As he thinks, alright, then I think it's time I ascend. So he focuses key. And you think he's about to break through and ascend. But before that, he goes to, his brother's, not brother, but his friend, the prince, his wedding. As he says that, and he says to the prince and the king and the princess and the queen that this is their last goodbye before he ascends to greater heights. As they said, alright then, goodbye. Now, over time, when taking mind Izuku, he got to the god's domain. He got to the god's domain and stuff like that. Now, he looks like this. He looks like this. Because everybody in the god's domain show a lot of hostility towards him. So, he looks like this. And she is one of the most high-ranking gods there. She is exactly rank 2 amongst the gods. Well, she's going to be rank 3 amongst them after, Izuku beats the number 1 god, but still. I don't know how long it's been. Let me go get some water. So, yeah. So, he starts by climbing the ranks of the gods. Starting from all the way down at the lowest rank, since he just now ascended. Rank 100 billion. She got up to rank 1 after, rank 3 after 50 billion years. Izuku is now 50 billion years old. 50 billion 60 million and 20 years old. As Deku, he finally thinks, alright, I'm gonna challenge her. Even though he knows that, he could beat any one of them. He could destroy their whole planet. As he put clones in the god domain as well. To learn the magic of the god's domain. It's much stronger than the one on, their planet that is known as Earth. And over this time, Earth has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And it has evolved to, My Hero Academia world. But Izuku, he doesn't know this. So, Izuku, he challenges her. As they make a bet. If she wins, Izuku will do anything she wants. But if Izuku wins, she does anything Izuku wants. Now, you're kind of self-conscious about what's going on. Like, she's, mostly scared that maybe Izuku's gonna rape her and stuff like that. She doesn't know. So yeah, so Izuku beats her rather easily. Like, they fight for an hour, and it's just Izuku dodging the attacks and just countering them, but not hurting her, as she gets annoyed by it and stuff like that. But she's also having fun, because she actually has an opponent other than, well, rank 1. Now, Izuku beats her as she's on the floor and says, "Alright then, start." As Izuku says, "Huh?" As she says, "Start, aren't you going to molest me, rape me?" As Deku says, "What? No, but now I think about it, I have a better proposal. I want you to be my wife." As she blushes and says, what, wife?" As Izuku says, "Yeah, I want you to be my wife." As she blushes and she says, "Alright then." As, like, she don't, like, Izuku the only one she blushes for. Now, Izuku, he moves on to rank 1. Now, he beats rank 1 rather easily as well. And he's crowned new rank 1. Rank 1 is named rank 2. She's rank 3 now. And basically, like, no matter how much people try to, well, beat him, they could never beat him. Why? Because the same thing he did on Earth, he did that on, the God's Domain too. So Izuku's abilities are strong as hell. And now we skip to quadrillions of years later. Like, take in mind, Earth has not gotten to the point where it's in the My Hero world. My Hero world is currently like 10,000 years in the future. Oh, hold on, yeah, I'm buffing the year up real high. I know, year 10,000. That's a big buff up. But anyways, Izuku does that. Now Izuku, he's been cultivating. He's been cultivating for what seems like an eternity, like infinite years in the God's Domain. Alright, to the point where he even started making planets himself. So the same thing you saw me do with What If Deku was in Tower of God. Yeah, they're happening right now. But the whole thing about using the Golden Needle, Cosmos, and stuff like that, he doesn't know about those. So yeah. So Izuku, he does that, and he met Buddha. He tried Buddhism. He made clones that did Buddhism. Basically, every type of, well, martial arts, different types of martial arts. Different types of martial arts like poison, stuff like that. So Deku, he's a master at them. He's even stronger than Buddha when it comes to Buddhism. And Buddha is surprised as hell. Because he's the original creator of Buddhism. And he got surpassed. He got surpassed. And that's only because Izuku, he went a step further than Buddha. He didn't go as far to find his meaning of life. He went beyond that. He went to find the meaning of existence. No, he went beyond that. He found the meaning of existence, then his reason to live, then his meaning in existence, what the meaning of life is, and then he went as far to find the meaning of every particle in the world. So that means Deku, he spent years and years and years on end cultivating to find the reasoning behind things like dark matter, light matter, and stuff like that. Like dark energy, light energy, and even atoms, electrons, neutrons, and protons to find the meaning behind them and why do they exist. Now, Izuku, he's become more knowledgeable. Now you may be wondering, did the clones get smaller? No, the clones did not get smaller. As Earth got smaller. No, they just fused into one clone. They fused into one clone that basically, well, has the same capabilities as all the other clones, but it's way more advanced. Now, Izuku, after those years, he gets out of seclusion, to which he sees his wife just waiting for him, and he spends the next eternity just with her, just enjoying their lives together. As Izuku thinks, I've become the god of blades, Dad. I hope you're happy. As, like, they heard about his dad, and they thought, what if we bring him back? Now, we skip to Satan. Satan about a few eternities ago. Exactly when Izuku was 1 billion years old. Satan, he found out where Izuku is, and he went to challenge Izuku to show that he is the king of demons. And Izuku, we all know, absolutely clapped him. As Satan says, your demon come back to hell. As Deku says, nah, I'll explore some more. As, yeah, that's basically how it happened. So, Deku, he does that. Now, when Izuku, he does that, Izuku, after that eternity with his wife, he tells her that he's planning on reincarnation. As she says, but why? He says, well, I want to know what the life out there is. I want to get stronger. As the goddess said, but you're already the strongest in the world. As Izuku says, but still, it's not bad to want to go even farther, huh? As he said, fine. As he says, the next Ragnarok, you can die. As Izuku says, alright then. So the next Ragnarok, Izuku summons every god, as he says that he announced that he's going to be reincarnating and stuff like that. And he went back to the former number 1, and he said, you will be number 1 again, and his wife is number 2 again. As Izuku, he nods to them and says goodbye, as he proceeds to get stabbed with the spear. I'm such a big liar. Yeah, I'm such a big liar. Yeah, I'm a liar. I feel like a big liar here. If you're in the comments right now, can you type to me, do you think I'm a liar for telling you that this was going to be a short backstory? You must be thinking I'm a liar, don't you? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied to you. I'm ashamed of myself. Anyways, I'm still sleepy, so I'll just finish this real quick and go back to sleep. So yeah. So, Deku, he completely mollywops, bodies, wipes the floor with that man. Like, dead ass. He wipes the floor with him. Wait, no. The fuck am I talking about? Oh, yeah. Him reincarnating, right? Yeah. So, he had to get into a fight, but he absolutely wiped the floor with the guy. I went ahead of it. I went ahead. I'm sorry. He had to fight this guy. He, well, beat him and stuff like that. Like, he beat the world's strongest human. But before, like, the guy said, kill me, Izuku said, nah, I want to reincarnate, so I want you to kill me. So, he kills Izuku. Now, he skips to 10,000 years in the future when Ingo is giving birth. She's pushing, as this white-haired boy comes out with red eyes. As immediately, when Ingo says, what should I name him? As Izuku says, Izuku Midoriya. Huh? As Inko says, did he just speak? As Izuku, he starts floating. As he goes to Inko and says, my, you've grown into a fine young lady. You remind me of my older sister. Well, technically younger now since, well, I'm much older than her. But still, you remind me of her. Hey Dad. Looks like your descendants is here. As Eiko says, who are you? As Izuku says, well, I'm your son, and, well, kind of your ancestor's older brother. By now. Well, younger brother, to be exact. If she was still alive. As Inko says, what? Who exactly are you? As he says, well, let me formally introduce myself. My name's Izuku Midoriya. I'm also known as the youngest son of Bling Bling Izuku Midoriya and the younger brother of the 10 brothers, the 5 brothers and 5 sisters, Midoriyas, and stuff like that. As Inko says, you're, you're the one that they have in the books? As Izuku says, oh, I'm famous. As he said, yes, you're famous. In the evolution of the world, you're really famous, actually. I think there's still statues of you. As Deku says, statues? As Inko says, yeah. As she pulls up a picture on her phone. As Izuku says, oh, so they survived after all. Yeah, those are not statues. As Inko says, what do you mean they're not statues? Izuku says, they're not statues. Those are actually clones of me. They're not statues. They just have not moved for more than a few eternities. As Inko says, a few eternities? Eternity is endless. So they've been like that for infinites of years? As Izuku says, yeah, pretty much. And Inko says, so your name shall be Izuku once more? As Izuku said, yeah. So, Inko, she says that as she leaves. And the doctors are still shocked about what's going on. They don't even know what's going on. As the doctors tried to, well, slap him, but, like, they tried to use the scissor on him to cut the thing that's connected to his belly button and Inko and stuff like that. But the blade, immediately when the doctors got near Izuku, it got way heavier. As the mind of the blade speaks out to the one holding it and says, I will not hurt my master. As it basically yells. So yeah. They're wondering, mass. Oh my god. So she does that, and after 3 months, Izuku, he grows up like this again. He grows back to this. And immediately after doing that, like, it's been 3 months since he was just born, and Inko's like, what the hell? How are you already this old? And Deku says, don't worry about that. I have a fast growth rate. Courtesy to my clones. As it said clones. Isn't it like a few of them? As Izuku says, 180 in total? As Izuku says, oh ho ho. If you were to know how much clones were compressed into that one body, you would be scared. As Inko said, how much? As Izuku says, well, after reaching God's domain, there's probably infinity. Yeah, there's infinite of them inside one body. As Inko, she's scared. She's scared and says, what? As Izuku says, yeah, infinite of them. But anyways, guess it's time for me to do my own training. As all of a sudden the portal opens, as Inko says, is that your quirk? As Izuku says, nope, I don't have a quirk. I have magic and QI. And sword techniques. And many more techniques with other weapons. Should I have one with a gun? Hold on. So yeah, I added 2 more ships. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. But I'm not gonna show them right now. You'll find out in the next part. So yeah. So Izuku, he does that. And well, he trains his weapons as Inko sees him just pulling weapons out of nowhere and stuff. And she remembers, oh, it's magic. Right. And she wondering, wait, if there's magic in the world, can I learn? As Izuku says, yeah, you can learn magic, but I wouldn't recommend you learning it. And she says, why? As he says, well, it doesn't seem like you're compatible for magic, nor does anyone in this world does. Well, the only reason I'm compatible is probably because, well, I want to say I was born of this world anyways. Anyways, doesn't matter.
as he just trains for, well, 4 years, and he got back to peak position to the point where he could go back up to the God's domain and clap every god up there again, like dead ass, and become number one again. Now, when he finally releases all his energy, the two other girls, including his wife, notice it. Now, let's just say that those two other girls happen to be, concubine of Izuku's. Yeah, concubine of Izuku's. Now, take in mind, I took a character from another anime. Alright? Another anime. Another character from another anime. Well, she looks like it and she has the sword like that character. I want you to guess who that character is from that other anime, alright? She's a female. She's one of the ships, alright? So yeah. Only hints I could give you is she uses a sword, alright? I know there's a lot of females that use swords in anime. So, yeah. So, this has been part 1 of What If Deku Was the God of Blades, or the Blade Master, part 1. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I apologize for not posting for the past 2 or 3 days because I did not get sleep. Your son still ain't getting sleep because, well, I'd be real tired in the morning. But still, I'm able to make you guys videos, and I love that. Quite honestly, I'm be real with you guys. Personally, if I were to say why I started YouTube, my YouTube channel, the first thing that come to mind is probably saying, oh, shit, it was for fun. And personally speaking, it was for fun. I didn't have any ulterior motives or anything like that. I just did it for fun. I just wanted to see how far my creativity and mind can get me. And it seemed like it got me to 4K subscribers. And this is the 4K subscribers. The 3K subscribers, what if Deku was... No, the 3.5K subscribers, what if Deku was a combat medic? Yeah, it's going to be coming out. Well, this is a comeback. What if? For me coming back. Now, what if Deku was a combat man? Yeah, it's gonna come out. It's definitely gonna come out. Don't worry, it's gonna come out. I didn't forget about it or anything. I didn't forget. I still remember. Don't worry about it. Your boy never forgets. Alright? So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry for not posting. And yeah, I created a YouTube video to show my creativity and stuff like that. Not for any like appreciation or anything. Like I said in like my first ever What If, I don't need you guys to like or subscribe. I just want you guys to feel entertained, to enjoy yourselves, because like there's not a lot of like specific what ifs. The reason why I do What If Deku Was Betrayed, because it seems like it's one of the most common, well, what ifs. And there's not a lot of it. Like for me, I've watched a lot of What If Dekus Were Betrayed, and quite honestly, I get bored by them real quick. So yeah, that's why I do those, and then I'll do some more of the other what ifs. So yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for everything. Thank you for getting me to 4K. I think it's 4K 4006 60 now. So yeah, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Even though I'm incapable of living, I can show affection, and I will show you guys as much affection as I can as this YouTube channel progresses. And I hope you guys will be there for this journey with me. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, bye guys.